I'm descending Broken Top Loop, and I am enjoying epic views of Mount Bachelor. So we are descending a Broken Top Trail, going back from whence we came. Previously ascended this, doing a 13.5 mile, 2,600 foot elevation gain hike out and back from Todd Lake Trailhead was my launch point up to the Broken Top Zone, No Name Lake shoreline, and up to the Bend Glacier Overlook. Now I'm headed back down once it came. Today is October 12th, 2022, kind of shoulder season, perfect time to do this. No mosquitoes, temperature range is a little lower. Started at sunrise, about 7. Sunrise was 6:47, about 10 minutes after the sunrise. And then really been hiking all day. Started in the high 30s temperature wise. Right now it's probably high 50s. I'll get into the 60s by the time I get back to my vehicle. So still a little warmer than I like, but better than it could be for a summer hike. Got 2 sugar for Powerades on me and pepperoni sticks. Had a huge amount of fluids in a gigantic egg, sausage, and cheese protein breakfast before I launched. I knew I would have all the energy I needed to complete this hike and show off the beauty of this canyon to our left. And that right there is Ball Butte, 79-17 as far as elevation. And I'm descending right now from whence I came. Kind of cool framing straight ahead, that is Mount Bachelor, one of the 2 main ski resorts here in Oregon, an international ski destination, so it's pretty epic. I'm calling that right now naked Mount Bachelor because this is the 1 month or so a year at the end of summer that the snow is all melted. Most of the year that is a snowmageddon winter wonderland. Now, look at this. Look at the epicness of this area. I mean, it's not just the destination for a hike like this. No Name Lake, incredible. My favorite Alpine Cirque Lake in Oregon. Broken Top, incredible. My favorite mountain. Three Sisters Wilderness, we're hiking through, incredible. It's not just a destination. Life is a journey, not a destination. Look at this area. It's pristine. Three Sisters Wilderness is my favorite wilderness area in all of Oregon, and maybe you're getting a good feeling why. There's just something magical about it. If you're gonna go a 13.5 mile hike, you don't want it to be boring the whole way until the end. I don't know if the juice would be worth the squeeze if that was the case, but when you got beauty like this, a pristine wonderland, why wouldn't you want to do a hike like this? Every step is magic. I live down in I should say up. I live up in Madras, about an hour 20 from this trailhead. So this is perfectly distance for me for a day hike. Left at 5:40. Got here at 7 a.m. and now I am getting my hike on. I'm glad I got to do the whole ascension in the cold, in the 30s and 40s, because I really didn't break a sweat because it wasn't so warm and very windy. It's definitely hotter. I'm actually starting to sweat now, and I'm exerting myself a fraction of what I had to do on the way up, and I'm getting pretty hot because of this weather. Fahrenheit is ticking up. My favorite wilderness area in all of Oregon. You got Mount Bachelor straight ahead, and you have this pristine Alpine Tundra Wonderland zone. This isn't even the main draw of the hike. This is actually in mop-up mode on the way back down. The main draw was 1,000 feet above us, where I'm hiking down from. The Broken Top mountain range, No Name Lake, Alpine Cirque, and of course the Bend Glacier Overlook with this Three Sisters Wilderness. The Three Sisters Mountains in the background. That was the draw. But this area is so beautiful that even the in-between sections are epic, magic. This is a pristine Alpine Wonderland. Perfectly manicured, groomed. So we hike through this Alpine Tundra forest zone with rocky creeks and rivers crisscrossing it. Of course, the mighty Mount Bachelor in the distance. Mount Bachelor is one of the 2 premier ski resorts in Oregon. Luxury ski resort, international destination. Right now I'm calling that naked Bachelor. It's kind of the rare time of year, end of summer, where the snow's melted. A few weeks, that's going to start becoming Snowmageddon year, and probably spends about 11 months of the year, 10 or 11 months, drenched in white, fluffy snow. And we're in that one pocket where it is snowless. It's a little bit of speckling snow. Kind of interesting. So I did not come from that direction. That is Broken Top. If you look on all trails and you do like Broken Top Trailhead, that would be that direction. I'm turning right here because I came from the Todd Lake Trailhead, which is a, frankly, much more challenging hike, which is how I roll. Really increases the distance and the elevation gain. But I like doing it that way because I like that area. The Alpine zone you get to hike out of is pretty gorgeous, and I find it to be a more complete hike. I don't want to do a shorty. I like a good double-digit hike, medium double-digit hike. As I said, this one's 13.5 miles, 2,600 foot elevation gain because I did it from Todd Lake. You can cut that in a fraction if you just go to the Broken Top Trailhead, but it's not how I roll. I like to challenge myself. It's my modus operandi in life. Served me well. Probably my sweet spot. I love me a good 16, 18 mile hike. That's my sweet spot. 20 is probably where I want to max out as far as fun ratio. For me, my biggest link is my feet. They start getting sore after a while. So, I don't have a problem with the endurance, the lungs, the health, the muscles. My legs are fine. Everything, my back's fine. Really, everything's fine. You're only strong as your weakest link. My weak link is after a certain number of hours and mileage, invariably, no matter what shoes I wear. So I have experimented. Oh, hello, Broken Top. Here I am rambling about my feet, and I got this beautiful mountain in front of me. Oh my gosh. Broken Top's a legend. Look at that. That's a legend. That's my favorite mountain in Oregon, and I'm not afraid to say it. Absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, saying I have tried various shoes. It doesn't make a difference. Right around the 17, 18 mile mark, my feet start really getting sore. No matter what shoes I wear, I've tried different brands. For me, the best brand is Lova. They fit my feet correctly, but to each his own. Not an endorsement or anything. I don't have sponsors. I'm not fancy, but so I probably could do longer than 20 if as far as capability. But right around 17 or 18, my feet start hurting and stinging, and cost benefit analysis flips, and it's like, well, if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it? So 20 is kind of where I cap out. I can do 20 as a day hike. Anything longer than that, I'm going to want to backpack it. So that's kind of my own rules for myself. Everybody should probably develop what their comfort zone is, but I'm sure it's different for everybody. But my standard is that I like day hiking better than backpacking. Backpacking, you got to strap on a heavy pack, makes elevation gain a lot more arduous. It's a lot less fun. So I like backpacking, but it's less fun than day hiking. So since I live in Madras and I pretty much am within day hiking driving distance to all of Central Oregon, I prefer to day hike all of the premium hikes in Central Oregon. Like, for instance, Three Finger Jack's a common backpacking loop, 24-mile loop, but I'd rather just break it into 3 day hikes and cherry pick the 3 best sections. And that way I can go home and sleep in my warm, cozy bed and I don't have to strap on a backpack. It's just how I roll. So this one, I'll say this, the 2 premier backpacking loops in Oregon are definitively Broken Top Loop and Timberline Loop. Those are by far the 2 best backpacking loops. I'm talking from an alpine mountain zone. I'm not talking about like a river hike, because we got some pretty epic stuff down south in Oregon on that. But from an alpine mountain hiking perspective, Timberline and Broken Top are definitively the 2 best. I would say Three Finger Jack is probably 3rd, realistically. But because of where my proximity, living in Madras, I'm only an hour away from each one of those mountains. So no reason to do a backpack when you can just do, day hike, cherry pick and day hike the best sections. That's how I roll. But when I explore out of state, if I go up to Washington, if I go down to California, Idaho, Nevada, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Canada, Alaska, then I have to backpack, because obviously I can't day hike. So it's all relative. When I go out of state, I actually have two models as I ramble on. There's Bachelor and beautiful Alpine Wonderland. The tundra goes on for days. So one model is before I ramble about that, I'm going to show you Mount Bachelor, Mount Broken Top again. Look at that. Beautiful. One model is I do a car camp model where I actually go to an established campground with my vehicle, set up a tent and do that whole thing, and then day hike from the camping area. And then the other model is I actually backpack. I only backpack as a last resort because I think it is less fun. But I only do that if it's like a loop that you can only get to the magic spots distance-wise if you backpack. So I only backpack out of necessity, not out of choice. So I don't backpack nearly as much as I day hike.